going on, everybody? Hair here, and yes, I'm excited. I'm super happy. I can't wait. It's here. WrestleMania season is here. I'm excited because that's our Super Bowl. That's every wrestling fan's Super Bowl. WrestleMania is here. WrestleMania 38. This is the preview show, the spoiler show, and let's just get straight into it. This isn't going to be in order, except towards the end, what I think will be in order. I'm just going to get right to it. Let's start off first with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins will face Cody Rhodes, the newly signed Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. There is rumors right now that they might hold off and Cody might come back in the Raw after WrestleMania, which would be fantastic too. Now this is a two-night WrestleMania too, so Saturday and Sunday. I do not like that format. I like it just being one day, but whatever. So Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Neither guy can really take a loss because I hear that the feud after WrestleMania will be Roman versus Seth. So in that sense, why would Seth take a loss? But you don't want to sign a guy to a big deal like Cody Rhodes coming out of AEW, the first transition from AEW to WWE, first big star transition from AEW to WWE. You don't want him to lose. You want to give him a push. So I guess you could have him beat Seth Rollins, but then why have Rollins go against Roman, who's been destroying everybody for years right now? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I still do think Cody goes over, maybe in a screwy finish. Maybe he's a heel. I don't think he's going to be Stardust, but I think Cody should continue his same character from AEW, trying to be Mr. Positive, ending racism, all that stuff, because it comes off as cringy, and he needs to be a heel. And the marks will definitely boo him. I'm excited for it, though. I like Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is awesome. I'm glad he's back in WWE. And I'm excited for it. So I have Cody Rhodes going over on Seth Rollins. Next match, again, this isn't in any particular order. Next match, you have Ronda Rousey, the Women's Royal Rumble winner, going against Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This is an easy one. I don't even have to look. I'm looking right now, but they have Ronda going over, and I knew that off the bat because you're not going to have Ronda, who's this UFC champion, real life ass kicker, coming to lose, and she hasn't been back in WWE for years now. You're not gonna have her come back and lose. She came back. She won the Royal Rumble. She's gonna beat Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Next, you have the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair's redemption for her. When she lost to Becky Lynch in 20 some seconds against Becky Lynch at I think SummerSlam or whatever it was. This is her coming out party. She's going to have a good match with Becky Lynch, and she's going to win, I believe. So Becky Lynch is finally going to drop the belt. She's going to give the rub to Bianca Belair, put her over, and Bianca Belair will be your Raw Women's Champion at the end of the night. Next, you have the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos versus Shinsuke and Rick Boogs. The Boogs, shout out to my nephew. He loves the Boogs. He loves Rick. It's one of his idols. I wish they wouldn't have cut his hair though, but it is what it is. So they have the Usos winning. They have them retaining. They have them continuing with the belts, and I do believe that will be because they can stand at the end with Roman. Spoiler alert, if it hasn't said it already. Next, you have Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul and The Miz. People like to hate on Logan Paul. I love his podcast. He had guys. He has all kinds of people on there. He had Arnold Schwarzenegger on there. KSI, a guy he fought. He's had so much awesome guests on his podcast, and he's a great interviewer now too. I think he's a little more mature. So and he's an athlete. The kid's an athlete. He's big. He's buff. He's super athletic. He boxed Floyd Mayweather, even if Floyd didn't go all the way. Still, he's a big kid. He trains hard, and I don't know why people are hating on him. I think you're not going to... And he's talked about, even on his podcast, wrestling, not full-time, but part-time. He likes it. He enjoys it. He respects the business a lot, too. So, I have them going over. So does the odds. Logan Paul and The Miz will go over. The Mysterios will give them the rub. I think Logan Paul will continue doing stuff with WWE, as he has been. Next, you have Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. This is going to be a filler match, and it sucks for Drew because he's a main event type guy. But I don't even want to get into this too much. Drew's going to win. He's going to go over on Happy Corbin. Next one, you have your WWE Women's Tag Team Championship triple threat match, I believe it is. Zelina and Carmella versus Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, sorry, Fatal 4-Way, versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler. So it is what it is with these. I think they're finally going to give belts to Liv, because they've been trying to give her. The fans have been with her for a long time. This is going to be her, I guess, coming out party for having a belt. You're going to put the belts on Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. I think that's a good decision too. I don't know if she's ready for the main belt, but this is a good starter for her for sure. Next, you have your WWE Raw Tag Team Championship match: RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Riddle versus the Street Profits, and versus the Alpha Academy. Now, this should be a fun match, but I think this might be where you're going to see the turn finally with Orton and Riddle. They have the Alpha Academy going over. Not a bad choice. They're entertaining. But they want to eventually do a Riddle versus Randy Orton. I think this is where that'll start. They'll plant the seeds for that. Next, Dream Match. Dream Match. Edge versus AJ Styles should be a fantastic, phenomenal match on this day. We see clearly. Shout out to Edge. This should be a fantastic match. They've been, the Edge has put over people since he came back. But I think, and AJ Styles has put everybody over too. He's won the belt a few times in the WWE title, but he's put over a lot of people since he came back. Put over Brock, put over a lot of people. Roman, everybody. The spoilers have AJ Styles going over right now, which I'm not mad at it. AJ's a phenomenal wrestler, no pun intended. It's great stuff. Next, you have Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. This should be fun. I think Knoxville's going to take a couple of real bad spills, and I don't know why he does that. He's old already, but he's going to take some spills. You're going to have oh wow, they have Sami Zayn going over, but I'm going to tell you right now that Johnny Knoxville will go over. Celebrities usually win, so we shall see. Next, Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. Shout out to Pat McAfee, one of the best podcasters in the game. Love what he does. I would love to be in that position. He's basically an ESPN that cusses. He's awesome. Love Pat McAfee. And Austin Theory is the next guy. He's Vince's guy, and I'm here for it. He's awesome too. He's incredible. He's a phenomenal athlete as well. They have Austin Theory going over, but man, Pat McAfee is such a good talker. Put a great promo the other day. I think it's going to be a good match, and he's shown in NXT he can move around a little bit. He's a great He's a good professional wrestler. I'm here for it. Yeah, definitely. Next, you have your rumored match: Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kevin Owens had that ridiculous, bald cap on, or I don't think he shaved it, and then obviously he's chubby. He's dropping the beard. He's doing a Stone Cold monologue type skit thing. But this is a match. It might be a skit. I'm not exactly sure what it is. They haven't made it clear either. But it'll end with Stone Cold stunning Kevin Owens a bunch of times, drinking beer, and closing off night one of WrestleMania. It should be fun. Stone Cold is one of the GOATs as well. He made wrestling in the late 90s, early 2000s. Stone Cold was the biggest star ever, working with Mike Tyson in his prime. Just incredible. I can't wait to see Stone Cold. I'm so excited for that. So that should be fun. Your main event will be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns in your championship unification match, as they're calling it now. Winner takes all. So it's for the not SmackDown Championship, but yeah, your Universal Championship, which is the SmackDown belt, the blue belt, and the WWE Championship. And they're gonna merge it. I've seen little things where it's kind of like they're both fused together. I'm going to say this, I don't like the idea of them merging the belts. You still have separate belts for all these other, all the tag belts, the women's belts, so why are you going to combine them? Yes, they said the champion will be on both brands. I don't like it. It's only, because here's the thing, Roman's going to win. Brock's going to leave for a few months again. Roman's going to win. They want Roman to go against The Rock eventually next year at WrestleMania. Having one title holder, I get people say, oh, this should only be one champion. I don't like it because it immediately dilutes and it diminishes everybody else from getting a chance at a championship. Bobby Lashley wouldn't have been champion if there was one belt. Even The Miz recently, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, all these guys getting the belt, which deserve it, wouldn't get it because Roman would just have it. And that's what's going to happen. Roman's going to have it, and he's just going to have it for a year. I don't like this unification thing, because then why not unify all the other belts, the women's belts, the tag belts? Because I don't like this at all. I really don't. Unless you're going to try to elevate the Intercontinental belt, but I don't like it. I really don't like it. You should have two belts. one for Raw, and one for SmackDown. They're saying Roman's gonna go on every show, but still, it's gonna be a nice picture of Roman holding both belts. They're gonna have this nice new belt, but I think they should split it again eventually. I think the networks will benefit from it, and I think other wrestlers will benefit from being a champion as well. When Bobby Lashley comes back, I want him to be champion again. He's a fantastic WWE champion, and I love Roman Reigns too. But I think there should be two champions because there's two different shows. That's just my take. But Roman will go over. He will, be beating his chest. The family will be there. Paul Heyman, the Usos, they'll be holding him up. Big celebration time in Dallas. It'll be awesome. Can't wait for WrestleMania. Those are the spoilers.